Hey everybody, it's Crissy Rollins here, and I know I just shared an energy update yesterday, but I had something more on my heart to share, and I feel like this is a really important conversation to have, and I trust fully that at least one of you watching needs to hear this. So this is going out to you if you're the one that's been nudging me internally to bring this message out to the open. So over the past decade or so, we've been going through a shift in our collective human conscious experience, and this shift is actually a healing experience. It's a reconciliation. It's a bringing to balance something that's been very off balance for quite a while, that's causing a rub and agitation, a lot of tension in our society. And part of the healing that is underway right now currently involves our relationships. I've talked about this for quite a while now. Our relationships have been in an upheaval. We've been asked to either evolve or dissolve relationships in a lot of ways. Hey, if you're joining live, chat in, let me know that you're here. But one of the ways in particular that we are healing as a people is that it is time to heal ourselves of blame and of shame. Both of these qualities limit our human experience. It limits our ability to express ourselves fully and to fully engage with other people and to have a super fulfilling experience in our life. And all of us have experienced this. We've certainly been on the receiving end of blame, and we have been on the experiencing end of shame. And if we stop to think about it, probably every single one of us have also been the ones doling out some of the blame and some of the shame. And what this looks like as a society and as a day-to-day experience when we as a people are healing blame and shame, it is going to look like a couple of different things. One of the things it's going to look like is an ongoing opportunity over and over and over again to free up these energies. So in order to do that, you're going to be given circumstances in which you are either the one who is in integrity, that's doing the right thing, that is checking off step by step exactly the steps to take in order to get some fulfillment on the other side. And what you will find is that as you're diligently going through and doing everything right, the other person on the other side is going to drop the ball. They're not going to show up. They're not going to follow through. They are going to fail you. They will let you down. Now, the normal reaction to this is unfair. I've done everything right. If they had done everything right as well, I wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't be limited in this way. I wouldn't be having this limited experience. But see, we are actually limitless beings, and other people do not hold the power over our experience unless we allow them to. And this belief that we have to do things in a certain way in order to release certain rewards on the other end is, quite frankly, it's run its course of time for us as a people. And it's time to get back to a bigger, truer story that this isn't a do in order to get experience. This is actually you come in whole and complete and provided everything that you need in order to receive and sustain yourself. So in order to have that more fuller life experience, we have to free ourselves up of belief systems that say, I am lacking something. There is something out there for me to gain. If I move in a certain way, I'm going to add this to myself, therefore increasing my enoughness, increasing my value, and I can relax and rest. But in truth, all is indeed well. You are enough now. And if you continue this false belief that you need something more in order to have something more, do something more, be something more, you're going to keep getting this opportunity to free yourself of this limited thinking. So freeing yourself and healing yourself of blaming and shaming is going to look like in your world circumstances in which are set up perfectly for you to cast blame out, perpetuating the story of the victimhood that you're experiencing. But life says, no, my beloved, you are better than that. You are more than that. I am providing you a more rich experience than that. You need to stop the shortcomings that you are bringing to the table of seeing this other person as lacking or you as lacking in some way, and start to understand that the experience that you're having is exactly what you need to go through in order to go through this next round of healing, reconciling, clearing, balancing, however you want to say it. Now, the other way that freeing up and healing shame and blame can look like in your life is another way. If it's you that's dealing out the blame that needs to be reconciled, that's what it's going to look like. And if it's you that's taking on the shame, this is the way that that's going to look like. When you're on the receiving end of somebody else's blame, you are given the exact opportunity to face fears of your not enoughness. You typically will run into what feels like other people suppressing you by their casting of blame, but in truth, what you're butting up against is your own self-suppression in fear of, if you are to express yourself, then you will be rejected in some sort of way or lacking not enough in some sort of way. So typically what happens when blame is thrown our way and we start to feel that uprising of shame, we alleviate ourselves by defending our position, by saying, don't pass it this way, these are everything that I did and this is not my fault, and we try to explain our way out of taking ownership for the situation. Now, when you take ownership of the situation, you actually can change your entire circumstances, but as long as you are defending something that does not need to be defended, you're going to be perpetuating this ongoing experience. And instead, what is being asked is that you recognize in those moments that you are a whole, complete being, even if you miss the mark, even if you need to take ownership for your ongoing evolution or your short-sightedness. And we need to relinquish this desire and this need and this impulse to defend our position, because the space that we're moving into, it's got a lot more room. You can be a whole, complete being and have space for somebody else's rightness, even if it isn't quite in alignment with your perspective of rightness within yourself. So as life is throwing these things at you, if you find yourself going through the right steps but not getting the right rewards at the other end, and it seems like this perpetual setting up of other people's shortcomings perpetuating your situation, opportunity to heal blame. If you're finding yourself in this defensive place where the blame's being thrown in your direction and you're feeling like, why can't I just be accepted for how I am? Why can't I just be heard? Why can't I just be validated? Why can't I just be acknowledged? That is your opportunity to turn that around and start to acknowledge that same fullness that we talked about just a moment ago when we were talking about you being the one who's casting out the blame because you have forgotten your whole, complete fullness. Well, when the other person's throwing the blame your way, do not forget their whole, complete fullness either. If you're fixated on the fact that they're wrong and you are right, and they aren't seeing the full story and that you have more to the story to bring to the table, pause that line of thinking and open up the fact that maybe they are right, they are valid, and there might be more that they're bringing to the story too that is for you to unpack and for you to dive into, but you cannot understand their fullness without acknowledging our own. So whenever you see this is a whole and complete being who is actually bringing up something within me that I need to see about myself, not defend, not attack, not justify, but listen and understand and hear and take ownership, rectify, and come to reconciliation within myself. You cannot experience somebody else as whole and complete without experiencing yourself as that as well. And this is what we're really being asked to do, to free ourselves of the blaming and the shaming so we can get out of victim states and being victimized, and we can establish and maintain our own autonomy, meaning whole and complete beingness independent of what other people and circumstances are doing. That's where your real power lies. That's what's being activated and awoken within you. But if you keep falling into this short-sighted experience that everybody else is having, you're going to keep having these blaming and shaming situations. And all that it is doing over and over again is just inviting you to free that up, to let it go, to take a look at it, to change your perspective, to bring in a fuller picture, and to allow yourself a different experience. And hey, whoever just joined live, welcome. Thanks for being here. Definitely chat in. And if you're watching this in replay, drop some comments below. Have you been going through cycles like this? Can you relate to what I'm saying? And is this helpful, seeing it from a different perspective? And if you are driving with all of this and you're like, wow, this is super helpful, I would love to better understand this concept, I have an opportunity that is closing on Sunday, which is just like 4 days away from right now as I'm recording this. On Sunday the 27th, I'm going to be closing the doors for enrollment in the Empathic Healers course, in which we will take you through the entire process of bringing a fuller, complete story of yourself and other people to the table so you can heal, clear, balance, align your energy within yourself, and also be able to better understand, read, interpret, and not be as affected by the energy of other people. If that's something that's of interest to you, reach out to me. I'd love to get you some information on the Empathic Healers course. I'll drop a link below so you can check it out and see what it is all about, and pass it on to somebody else if you feel like they could use it in their life. And feel free to share this video too. Definitely let me know if it's helpful. Thanks for being here and watching, and I look forward to connecting with you further. Bye.